Hey guys, Peter here from Commercific, and today I'm going to talk to you about customer journey and how you can utilize it, how you understand it, what kind of data there is inside Commercific, which is related to understanding your customer journey. Okay, so the customer journey begins with understanding your customers better. Who are they? Are there any groups, distinct groups or segments inside your audience, basically? And to be able to work easier with them, there's usually something called a customer persona is created, which is basically kind of like an imagined customer, like Johnny J or whatever. And Commercific can help you to do just that. I mean, understanding your customers, creating your customer personas, and identifying these distinct groups, and you can see in which group you have the best performance, for example, revenue-wise. But let's go into a bit more detail just very soon. So first, what you need to do is you need to look at the reports inside Commercific. And the second one, which is traffic. And in the fourth module, you're going to see the customer personas, right? And it's going to look something like this. It's going to be looking very similar to this. So what we show you here is the two most revenue generating personas in the given time frame, which you're looking at. And what you can see here is their gender, so female, male, their age group, 55 to 64 or 25 to 34, the revenue you've made from them, and how it changed compared to the previous same length time period. Also, you can take a look at their conversion rate, which is very important, and the average order value which they have in this group. But what's the most important is that there are more than just these two. So if you click on show all, which I just already did, then you can see the full list. You can see there are many more. For example, in this case, there are 12 entries or 12 distinct groups of customers. And this is a dynamic table, which means that you can really easily order it by either ascending or descending order. So if you'd like to base your let's say ideal customer profile or your first person or most important persona by understanding how much revenue you've earned from them. By the way, it's already there and it's already ordered. So female 55-64, male 25-34. It's also interesting to learn or know how many traffic they've been able to generate. You can see that this is the same, this is still the first, but traffic-wise, it's quite different than what we've been able to see before. It would also make sense to understand the average order value which they tend to spend. You can see that this is the second, but actually this is coming in first. Yeah, okay, interesting. And then it's also great to understand the conversion rate. So, for example, you can see that males have the highest conversion rate. 65 plus males have the highest conversion rate, but they have kind of like a middle average order value, and so their session is way down. So there aren't too many of them. Basically, this is what it means. So you cannot really reach them, at least not at the current moment. So you can either decide to try to target them and try to get more of this type of customer group onto your site. But in this concrete case, it would be hard, I guess, to find and get people at this age on the internet to use web store. So I wouldn't say it's the easiest job. So what I'm trying to say is that you need to take a look at all of these different attributes, and you need to have the complex picture. The easiest way is just looking at revenue, but it's it's great if you can do something like this and utilize such a tool which gives you all of these other information. Also, because again, in this case, these are two top segments, demographic or customer segments, but actually, if I take a look at it, female 25 to 34 are also pretty great. They have a high average order value. Their conversion rate is not bad at all, and there are lots of sessions for those people. And for example, female 45 to 54, also great. There are lots of sessions. Average order value is a bit lower, and the conversion rate is currently not so good. So you need to do some work if you'd like to, for example, target them. And let's see what else. The rest has low traffic. Yeah, they tend to spend more, and they, for example, males between 45 to 44 tend to spend a good amount, and they have a great conversion rate, but there's not too many of them. So maybe they could also be a good persona for you to deal with. But you need to put in some work and you need to find out how you can reach more of such people. So it's basically, this is just for fueling your strategic decisions, but it's very vital, and this is where you need to start. Once you have your ideal customer profile, or you have more data about your customers, then, and this is more like revenue and demographics and these types of data, it would also be good to take a look at the fifth module, which is top regions, so where they are located geographically. And this is basically like, yeah, where they are. You can order it also by revenue, for example, and you can see that you've been able to get most revenue from Florida. But Texas is second best. There are lots of orders here. High average order value, conversion rate is also really great, and you have a nice amount of sessions. So, for example, I would go with either this one or that one. Probably this one. Higher average order value, high conversion rate, and maybe easier to reach, at least a bit easier to reach. And then if you're located in Florida, that's where I would start. This would be my base. But then I would need to do lots of tests. Then we can go to the conversion part, and we can understand the funnel, the purchase funnel. So where do I have problems, where I excel? So I'm not bad at luring people in to my site, getting them to my domain. I'm good and pretty good at making them check out at least one of my products, and then a considerable amount goes to add to cart. Then they actually start the checkout process and they successfully finish the order. But there's a not really a gap, but this is where I'm weakest at, right? So getting people from checking out my products to actually add them to the cart, and this is where I could step in. So this is closely, strictly related to the customer journey. So this is something which you can understand. Then you can go into understanding your products more, your site structure more, so landing pages, what happens to them, best converting items, needs to improve items, especially if this is the case that you have room for improvement product-wise. But it's also nice to understand the whole thing from the perspective of your customers, and you can do this from the customer report, champion of the period. This is another report. So we've talked about traffic, conversion, and now customer report. And then if you, for example, click on show all, you can see your top customers, and you can understand who they are, how much they spend, how much profit you're making on them. Or you can just go to, for example, high average order value customers. So these are the ones where your return is quite high, for example. And you can just go and take a look at where they are, what do they buy, for example, what type of marketing channels they use to make their order, uh, how many orders do they have, are they recurring or it's just like one-time order, and then all of this is going to fuel your decisions on understanding your customer journey better, understanding your customers better, and how to react, because there's no like a magic solution which is going to really work for everyone, but it's important to understand your own data, what's going on in your store, and then to react to it properly. So this is how you should use it, and this is how Commerce can help you.